Hey, everyone. Imagine a little town with dusty streets and old houses. Nothing big or exciting ever happens here. It's quiet, boring, and sleepy. People walk around, do their chores, and go home. But on one special street corner, something cool is happening. That's where we meet Jake Tanner. He's a funny guy with a big, old top hat that's kind of falling apart. To all the people walking by, he looks like just a silly street magician. He does tricks like pulling shiny coins out of kids' ears or making cards vanish into thin air. The kids giggle, the grown UPS smile, and some toss him a few pennies. Then they keep walking, thinking he's nothing special. But oh boy, are they wrong. Jake has a secret. A huge, amazing secret that nobody in this tiny town would ever guess. Let me paint the picture for you. It's a warm day, and the sun is shining bright. Jake stands there on his little corner, wearing his goofy hat and a big smile. His coat is old and patched up, but he doesn't care. He's happy doing his tricks. A little boy runs up, eyes wide, and says, "Wow, mister. How'd you make that coin disappear?" Jake winks and says, "Magic, kid. Just magic." The boy laughs and runs off, and Jake keeps going. He pulls a flower out of his sleeve for a lady walking by. She smiles and drops a nickel in his little jar. Another guy stops, watches Jake make a card float, and says, "Nice trick, pal," before walking away. To them, Jake is just a fun guy who makes boring days a little better. They don't think he's anything more than that. But here's the thing, they don't know the real Jake. Now, before I tell you more, let's stop for a second. I've got a fun question for you. Imagine you had a superpower that nobody knew about. Maybe you could fly, or turn invisible, or run super fast. What would you do with it? Would you show it off, or keep it a secret like Jake? Tell me down in the comments, I really want to know. Okay, back to the story. See, Jake isn't just a guy with fast hands and clever tricks. Nope. Under that goofy smile and silly hat, he's hiding something incredible. He's not just a magician who does little shows for pennies. He's a guy who's escaped from traps so scary they'd make your heart pound like a drum. Dangerous stuff like locked boxes, tight ropes, and even water tanks. But right now, he's not telling anyone. He's keeping it all hush-hush, quiet as a mouse. Why? Well, maybe he likes the simple life. Or maybe he's waiting for the right moment. For now, he's happy just being the funny magic man on the corner. Let's talk about this town a little more. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. The baker waves at the mailman, the kids play tag in the street, and old folks sit on porches talking about the weather. Nothing big ever happens, no parades, no fireworks, no surprises. That's why Jake fits right in. He's just part of the everyday stuff. People see him and think, "Oh, there's that magic guy again." They don't stop to wonder if there's more to him. They don't ask questions. They just laugh at his tricks and keep going. And Jake? He's okay with that. He likes making people smile. He doesn't need them to know his secret, at least, not yet. Picture Jake standing there, the breeze blowing dust around his feet. His hat tilts a little as he bends down to pick up a penny someone dropped. He flips it in the air, catches it, and makes it disappear with a flick of his wrist. A couple of kids clap and cheer. "Do it again," they yell. Jake chuckles and pulls out a deck of cards. "Pick one," he says, fanning them out. A girl with pigtails grabs a card, looks at it, and sticks it back in. Jake shuffles the deck, taps it, and poof, the card's gone. The kids squeal, and even a grumpy old man walking by cracks a tiny smile. That's Jake's life every day. Simple. Fun. No fuss. But deep down, he's more than that. Way more. Here's a little hint about Jake's secret: he's not just good at card tricks. He's done things that would make your jaw drop. Like, imagine being tied up with ropes so tight you can't move. Then imagine getting out of it, fast as a flash. Or picture being locked in a box, dropped in a river, and still finding a way to break free. That's the kind of stuff Jake has done before. Not here in this quiet town, though. Somewhere else, far away, before he came here. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't brag. He just keeps it locked up inside, like a treasure chest he's not ready to open. And nobody suspects a thing. To them, he's just the goofy guy with the hat. So there he is, day after day, doing his tricks on that dusty corner. The sun goes up, the sun goes down, and Jake keeps smiling. People walk by, toss coins, and say, "Thanks, Magic Man." They don't know they're watching someone amazing. They don't know he's got skills that could shock the whole town. And Jake's fine with that for now. He's not in a hurry to spill his secret. He's just waiting, doing his thing, keeping it cool. But guess what? Trouble's about to roll in. Big, loud trouble that's going to shake up this sleepy little town and Jake's quiet little life. See, Jake's secret isn't just fun and games. It's something that's kept him alive through crazy, scary moments. And soon, he's going to need it again. Because even in a boring town like this, things can change fast. One day, everything's normal. The next? Boom, something wild happens, and Jake's right in the middle of it. But we're not there yet. For now, he's just the magician on the corner, making kids laugh and picking up pennies. The big stuff is coming, though. Oh yeah, it's coming. And when it does, everyone's going to find out there's a lot more to Jake Tanner than tricks and smiles. Okay, let's jump back into the story. It's a bright, sunny afternoon in that sleepy little town. The air is warm, and Jake Tanner is standing on his dusty street corner, doing his magic tricks like always. Kids are clapping, a few grown ups are watching, and everything feels nice and easy. Jake's got his old top hat on, flipping cards and pulling coins out of nowhere. His tip jar, a little tin can, sits on the ground with a few pennies and nickels inside. It's just another normal day. But then, something loud changes everything. Suddenly, the ground starts to shake a little. A big, rumbling noise fills the air. Vroom. Vroom. It's the sound of engines, big, noisy motorcycle engines. Everyone turns to look. A gang of bikers rolls up the street, their bikes shiny and loud. These guys are big, tough, and kind of scary. They've got leather jackets, messy hair, and mean looks on their faces. Dust flies everywhere as they stop right where Jake is standing. The crowd steps back, whispering to each other. Jake looks up, still holding a card in his hand, and watches them. The leader of the bikers hops off his motorcycle. His name is Rusty. He's a tall guy with a scruffy beard that looks like it hasn't been brushed in forever. His leather jacket is all scratched up, and he walks like he owns the whole town. He struts over to Jake, his boots stomping on the ground. The other bikers, 5 or 6 of them, stay by their bikes, watching and grinning. Rusty stops right in front of Jake and looks down at him. "Hey, magic boy," he says with a mean sneer. Then, with a quick kick, he knocks over Jake's tip jar. Clink. Clank. The coins spill out onto the dusty street, rolling everywhere. The crowd goes super quiet. You could hear a pin drop. The kids stop giggling. The grown ups freeze. Everyone's waiting to see what happens next. Jake looks down at the spilled coins, then back up at Rusty. But he doesn't get mad. Nope. He just smiles a small, calm smile and bends down to pick up the coins, one by one. Not worth the fight, he mutters to himself, so quiet no one else hears it. He keeps his cool, like nothing big just happened. But inside? Oh, Jake's thinking. He's watching. He's not scared at all. Rusty, though. He's not done being mean. He laughs a loud, nasty laugh and steps closer. "What's the matter, magic boy?" he says. "Too chicken to do something about it?" Then he turns to his biker friends and yells, "This guy's a loser. A fake." The other bikers crack up, slapping their knees and pointing at Jake. One of them shouts, "Yeah, he's nothing." Another one says, "Look at him picking up pennies like a baby." They keep laughing, their voices loud and rough. The crowd doesn't know what to do. Some people frown. A little girl hides behind her mom. But nobody says anything. They're too nervous. Jake keeps picking up his coins, nice and slow. He puts them back in his jar, one at a time. Plink. Plink. His hands don't shake. He doesn't yell back. He just keeps that little smile on his face, like he's not even bothered. But if you look really close, you'd see something. His eyes. They're sharp, like a hawk watching its prey. He's not missing a thing. He sees Rusty's big boots. He sees the way the bikers stand, all cocky and loud. He sees the crowd, scared and quiet. Jake's not just sitting there feeling sad. Nope. He's paying attention. He's smart. Rusty keeps going. He's having too much fun being a bully. Hey, magic boy, he says again, leaning down so his face is close to Jake's. Why don't you make yourself disappear? Poof. Gone. He waves his hands like he's doing a trick, then laughs even harder. The bikers cheer him on. Yeah, disappear, loser, one yells. Show us some real magic, another shouts. They think they're so tough, picking on the goofy guy with the hat. To them, Jake's just a nobody. A joke. Someone they can push around and laugh at. They don't know it yet, but they've just picked the wrong guy to mess with. See, Jake's not like other people. He's not just a silly magician who does tricks for kids. He's got something special, something these loud, mean bikers don't understand. They look at him and see a weak guy in an old coat. They see his little jar of coins and think he's poor and helpless. But Jake's not helpless. Not even close. He's faced way scarier things than a bunch of noisy bikers. He's gotten out of tight spots, like really tight spots that would make these guys run away crying. But right now, he's not showing it. He's keeping it secret, letting them laugh. Why? Because Jake's patient. He doesn't need to prove anything, not yet. The bikers keep talking, throwing more mean words at him. You're a fake, magic boy. Rusty says, kicking a little dirt at Jake's feet. Bet you can't even tie your shoes right. The others howl with laughter, like it's the funniest thing ever. Jake finishes picking up his coins and stands up straight. He brushes the dust off his hands and looks at Rusty. That smile's still there, small and quiet. Nice kick, he says, real calm. Rusty blinks, surprised. He expected Jake to get mad or scared, but Jake's not giving him that. It makes Rusty mad. What'd you say? He growls, stepping closer. But Jake doesn't back down. He doesn't flinch. He just looks at Rusty with those sharp eyes and says, I said nice kick. Good aim. His voice is soft, like he's talking about the weather. The crowd watches, holding their breath. The bikers stop laughing for a second, confused. Rusty's face gets red. He doesn't like that Jake's not scared. You think you're funny? Rusty snaps. We'll see who's laughing soon. He turns to his gang and yells, this guy's asking for it? The bikers nod, cracking their knuckles like they're ready for trouble. Jake doesn't move. He stands there, hands in his pockets, watching them. The crowd's getting nervous now. A lady pulls her kid away. An old man shakes his head and mutters, poor guy's in for it. They all think Jake's about to get hurt. They think he's weak, just like the bikers do. But they're wrong. Jake's not worried. His hands are steady. His eyes are bright. He's not planning to fight, not with fists, anyway. He's got something else up his sleeve. Something these bikers don't see coming. Alright, let's keep this story rolling. Days went by after that first big trouble with the bikers. The sun came up, the sun went down, and every afternoon, those loud motorcycles roared back into town. Vroom. Vroom. The gang of bikers, Rusty and his mean crew, didn't leave Jake alone. Nope. They kept coming to his dusty street corner, making a mess every single time. They'd pull up fast, their engines so loud the ground shook. Then they'd jump off their bikes and start picking on Jake again. It was like a game to them, a mean, nasty game. Rusty, the leader with the scruffy beard, was always the loudest. He'd strut over to Jake, laughing and yelling. Hey, magic boy, he'd shout, then kick over Jake's little tip jar. Coins would spill out, pennies and nickels rolling in the dirt. Sometimes, he'd grab Jake's deck of cards and toss them all over the ground. This guy's nothing. Rusty would yell, turning to his biker friends. Look at him. What a joke. The other bikers would laugh and cheer, clapping Rusty on the back. They'd knock over Jake's props like his little table or his hat and scare off the crowd. The kids who loved Jake's tricks would run away, hiding behind their moms. The grown ups would shake their heads and leave, too. Soon, Jake's corner was empty, except for the bikers and their noise. But here's the thing, Jake didn't get mad. He didn't yell or fight back. Nope. He'd just nod, real calm, and start picking up his stuff. He'd grab his cards from the dirt, one by one, and brush them off. He'd scoop up his coins and put them back in his jar. Then he'd set up again, like nothing happened. Day after day, the bikers came, and day after day, Jake cleaned up their mess. People in town started talking about it. They'd whisper to each other as they walked by. "Why doesn't he fight back?" they'd say. "Those bikers are so mean. He must be too scared." An old lady sipping tea on her porch mumbled, "Poor guy's got no guts." A kid kicking a ball said, "He's afraid of them." Everyone thought Jake was weak. They felt sorry for him or thought he was a coward. But they didn't know the truth. They didn't see what Jake was doing when no one was around. See, after the sun went down and the town got quiet, Jake didn't just go home and hide. Nope. He stayed out there on his corner, long after everyone left. The street was dark, with just a little light from the moon and a flickering lamp. And in those shadows, Jake was busy. He wasn't just sitting there feeling sad. He was practicing something amazing. He'd take a rope from his bag and tie it around his wrists, tight as can be. Then, with a quick flick of his wrist snap, he'd get free. He'd twist his arms a little, wiggle his fingers, and the rope would fall to the ground. Over and over, he did it, fast and smooth. Sometimes, he'd pull out a little lock and a chain. Click. He'd lock it around his hands, then pop, he'd slip out in seconds. He'd even practice with a pair of old handcuffs he kept hidden in his coat. Snap, twist, click, he was out, every time. See, Jake wasn't just a magician who did silly tricks for kids. He was way more than that. He'd spent years, lots and lots of years, learning how to escape from tough spots. Not just ropes and locks, but really scary things. Like, one time, he was in a car that sank into deep water during a big stunt. The water was cold and dark, and the car was going down fast. Most people would panic, but not Jake. He stayed calm, got himself free, and swam to the top. Another time, someone locked him in a heavy, metal box and threw it into a river. Splash! It sank, but Jake didn't. He wiggled out and popped up, safe and sound. That's who Jake really was. Not just a goofy guy with a hat. He was an escape artist, a real one. He'd faced danger and beaten it, over and over. But here in this sleepy town, he kept it all secret. Why? Maybe he didn't want the attention. Maybe he liked the quiet life. Or maybe he was waiting for the right time to show what he could do. Whatever the reason, he didn't tell anyone. Not the kids who loved his tricks. Not the old folks who tossed him coins. And definitely not Rusty and his biker gang. They had no clue, no idea at all about what Jake was hiding. So, while the bikers kept coming and making trouble, Jake kept his cool. Day after day, they'd roar in, knock stuff over, and laugh. "You're a nobody," Rusty would yell, spitting on the ground. "Can't even stand up to us." The bikers would high-five each other, thinking they were so tough. And Jake? He'd just smile that little smile, pick up his things, and start over. The townspeople kept whispering. "He's too scared," they'd say. "He's letting them win." But they didn't see him at night, practicing in the dark. They didn't know about the sinking car or the box in the river. They didn't know Jake was ready for anything. The bikers thought they were in charge. They thought Jake was weak and easy to push around. Every time they came back, they got louder, meaner, bolder. Rusty would kick dirt in Jake's face and laugh. "What's wrong, magic boy? Too chicken to do anything." The others would join in, throwing Jake's cards around like trash. They'd rev their engines vroom, just to make noise and scare people away. To them, it was fun. To them, Jake was nothing. But every time they left, Jake would watch them go. His eyes were sharp, like a cat waiting to pounce. He wasn't scared. He wasn't weak. He was waiting. And here's a little hint, something big was coming. All that practicing in the shadows. It wasn't for nothing. Jake wasn't just messing around with ropes and locks for fun. He was getting ready. The bikers didn't know it, but they were pushing him closer and closer to showing who he really was. Every mean word, every kick, every laugh, it was building up. The townspeople didn't see it either. They thought Jake was giving up. But he wasn't. He was like a secret superhero, hiding his powers until the perfect moment. So, the days kept going, and the tension kept growing. The bikers kept being mean. Jake kept being calm. The town kept whispering. And every night, Jake kept practicing. Flick. Twist. Snap. He was fast, he was smart, and he was ready. Rusty and his crew had no idea what was coming their way. They thought they were winning. They thought Jake was a joke. But soon, oh, very soon they'd find out they were wrong. Stick with me, because this story's about to get wild. Okay, everyone, hold on tight because this is where the story gets super exciting. It all comes down to one big day, the day everything changes. The sun is shining bright, and Jake's on his dusty street corner like always. He's doing his tricks, making coins disappear and cards float. A small crowd is watching, some kids, a few grown ups, just the usual folks. Everything feels normal, like any other day. But then, that loud noise comes back. Vroom. Vroom. The bikers are here again, and this time, they're louder than ever. Their engines rumble so hard the ground shakes, and dust flies everywhere. The crowd turns to look, and here they come, Rusty and his mean gang, rolling right up to Jake. The bikers stop their bikes and hop off, grinning like they're up to no good. Rusty, the leader with the scruffy beard, is in front. He's got that nasty smirk on his face, the one that says he's ready to cause trouble. The other bikers, 5 or 6 of them, stand behind him, laughing and nudging each other. They've been picking on Jake for days, knocking over his stuff and calling him names. And today? They want to make it even worse. Rusty reaches down to his bike and pulls out a long, thick rope. He holds it up, swinging it a little, and looks at Jake. "Let's see some real magic, kid," he says with a mean laugh. Then he tosses the rope at Jake's feet. Thud, it lands in the dirt. "Tie him up, boys," Rusty yells. The bikers cheer and rush forward. The crowd gasps and steps back, scared. 2 big guys grab the rope and start wrapping it around Jake's arms. They pull it tight, really tight, looping it over and over. Another biker ties a big knot, tugging it hard to make sure it won't come loose. "There," one of them says, stepping back. "Let's see you get out of that, magic boy." Rusty crosses his arms and roars with laughter. "Good luck, loser," he shouts. The bikers all laugh, too, slapping each other on the back. They think they've got Jake trapped. They think he's done for. The crowd watches, wide-eyed. A little boy whispers, "Oh no." A lady covers her mouth, worried. Everyone thinks Jake's in big trouble now. But Jake? He doesn't look scared. Not one bit. He stands there, ropes tied around his arms, and looks at Rusty. "You sure about this?" he asks. His voice is calm, steady, like he's asking about the weather. Rusty blinks, surprised. He expected Jake to beg or cry, but Jake's just standing there, cool as can be. "What'd you say?" Rusty snaps, leaning closer. Jake tilts his head a little and says again, "You sure about this?" Rusty grins, thinking he's won. "Go ahead, tough guy," he says. "Prove you're not a joke. Show us." The bikers laugh again, crossing their arms, ready to watch Jake fail. And then bam, it happens. Faster than you can blink, Jake moves. His arms twist a little. His wrists flick one way, then the other. His fingers wiggle just right. And in less than 10 seconds, counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the rope falls off. Plop. It hits the ground in a pile, loose and useless. The crowd gasps again, louder this time. The bikers freeze. Their eyes get big, and their mouths drop open. "What the?" Rusty stammers, his voice shaky. He can't believe it. None of them can. 1 second, Jake was tied up tight. The next? He's free, standing there like it was nothing. Jake bends down, picks up his old top hat from the ground, and brushes the dust off it. He puts it back on his head, nice and slow. Then he steps forward, right toward Rusty. The crowd's buzzing now, whispering, pointing, excited. Jake looks around, making sure everyone can hear him. "I'm not just a magician," he says, loud and clear. "I'm an escape artist." The real deal. His voice isn't angry or mean. It's strong, like he's saying something true and proud. The crowd goes wild. Whoa, a kid yells. Awesome, a lady shouts. People clap and cheer, pulling out their phones to record it. Click, click, flash. Everyone wants to catch this moment. Rusty's face turns bright red. He's mad, embarrassed, and confused all at once. He looks at the rope on the ground, then at Jake, then at his biker friends. They're not laughing anymore. They're staring, jaws still dropped, like they just saw a ghost. Jake doesn't stop there. He bends down again, picks up his little tip jar, and holds it out to Rusty. Your move, tough guy, he says, that calm smile back on his face. The crowd laughs big, happy laughs. Oh, someone yells. He got you, a kid giggles. Rusty doesn't know what to do. He's stuck, looking silly in front of everyone. Let's rewind a second and think about this. The bikers thought they had Jake beat. They tied him up, laughed at him, called him a loser. They'd been picking on him for days, thinking he was weak. But Jake wasn't weak. All that time, he'd been ready. All those nights practicing in the dark, twisting out of ropes, slipping out of locks, it was for this. He knew he could do it. And now, right here, he showed them all. The goofy guy with the hat? He's not goofy. He's amazing. He's an escape artist, a guy who can get out of anything. And he just proved it, right in front of the whole town. The bikers don't know what to say. One of them mutters, how'd he do that? Another shakes his head, backing up a step. Rusty's still red, his hands clenched into fists. He wanted to make Jake look dumb, but now he's the one looking dumb. The crowd keeps cheering, louder and louder. Go, Jake, a boy shouts. You're the best, a girl yells. Phones are up everywhere, recording Jake standing there with his jar, cool and calm. The bikers thought they'd win. They thought they'd scare him. But Jake flipped it all upside down. He didn't fight with punches or yells. He used his secret, his skill, and showed them who he really is. Alright, let's wrap up this awesome part of the story. Picture this, it's still that big day on the dusty street corner. Jake just slipped out of the rope like it was nothing, and everyone's going crazy. The crowd's cheering, clapping, and shouting his name. Jake. Jake. Jake, they yell, super excited. Rusty, the mean biker with the scruffy beard, stands there, his face all red and his mouth hanging open. He doesn't know what to say. He wanted to make Jake look silly, but now he's the one who looks silly. His biker friends aren't laughing anymore. They're just staring, wide-eyed, like they can't believe what happened. Rusty's crew starts to fidget. They look at him, then at Jake, then at each other. One of them, a big guy with a messy ponytail, mutters under his breath, let's get out of here. He's not so tough now. He climbs back onto his shiny motorcycle, trying to act like it's no big deal. The others follow fast. One by one, they hop on their bikes, kicking the engines to life. Vroom. Vroom. The noise is loud, shaking the ground again, but this time it's different. They're not roaring in to scare anyone. They're leaving fast. The bikes peel out, kicking up clouds of dust as they speed down the street. In just a few seconds, they're gone, disappearing around a corner. The crowd watches them go, and a little kid yells, "Bye-bye, bullies." Everyone laughs. Now the street corner belongs to Jake. The people who were scared before? They're not scared anymore. They swarm around him, buzzing like happy bees. Kids run up, jumping and clapping. That was so cool, a boy with freckles shouts. Grown-ups push closer, smiling big. You showed them, a lady says, digging in her purse. She pulls out a dollar bill and tosses it into Jake's little tip jar. Plink. Another guy throws in some quarters. Clink. Clank. Soon, everyone's tossing money, coins, bills, whatever they've got. The jar fills up fast, overflowing with cash. People keep clapping, like Jake just won a big prize fight. And in a way, he did without even throwing a punch. Jake stands there, holding his jar, his old top hat tilted on his head. He's smiling, not a big, goofy grin, but a quiet, happy one. He looks around at the crowd and says, "Thanks, everyone." His voice is soft, but they hear him. "You're the best," a girl with pigtails yells back. The cheering gets louder. Phones are still out, snapping pictures and videos. Click. Flash. Everyone wants to remember this moment, the day Jake turned everything around. The dusty corner isn't quiet anymore. It's alive with noise and excitement, all because of him. Word about what happened spreads through the town like wildfire. You know how fast a fire moves? That's how quick the story goes. By nighttime, everyone's talking about it. "Did you hear about the magic guy?" a man asks at the diner. "He got out of a rope in 10 seconds, a lady tells her friend on the porch. Kids run around, pretending to be Jake, wiggling out of imaginary ropes. "I'm an escape artist," they shout, giggling. The whole town's buzzing, like it's the most exciting thing that's ever happened. And maybe it is. The next day, things get even wilder. The sun comes up, and people don't just walk by Jake's corner anymore, they line up. Yep, a big, long line of folks waiting to see him. Kids tug their parents' hands, saying, "Hurry, I want to see the magic man." Grown ups bring chairs, ready to watch. There's a little girl with a balloon, an old man with a cane, even the grumpy guy who never smiles, he's there too, curious. Jake steps out, wearing his patched-up coat and that same old hat. The crowd claps before he even starts. "Go, Jake," someone yells. He waves, shy but happy, and gets to work. He does his usual tricks, coins from ears, cards disappearing, but now it's different. People don't call him loser or fake anymore. Nope. They call him a hero. "You're amazing," a boy shouts. "The best ever," a lady cheers. The tip jar fills up again, faster than yesterday. Coins and bills pile high, and Jake keeps going, making everyone smile. The kids laugh louder. The grown ups clap harder. It's like a party on that dusty corner, and Jake's the star. No one's whispering about him being scared now. They're proud of him. They're amazed. And Rusty? That mean biker with the leather jacket? He's nowhere to be seen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever again. Word is, he and his crew rode off to some other town, too embarrassed to come back. They won't mess with Jake anymore, a shopkeeper says, sweeping his porch. He showed them, a kid agrees, kicking a ball. Rusty thought he was tough, but Jake proved who's really strong. Not with fists or yelling, but with his smarts and skills. He turned the tables, flipped everything around without even getting mad. Just pure talent and a little patience. That's all it took. The town's different now. People don't just walk by Jake's corner anymore, they stop. They watch. They cheer. The little girl with the balloon comes every day, bringing her friends. The old man with the cane nods and says, "Good job, son." Even the grumpy guy cracks a smile sometimes. Jake's not just the magic man now, he's their hero. His jar's always full, and his shows are the best part of the day. Kids try to copy his tricks, wiggling their arms like they're escaping ropes. "I'm Jake," they shout, laughing. The town feels brighter, happier, all because of him. Jake keeps doing what he loves, making people smile. He doesn't talk about the bikers or the rope. He doesn't brag about being an escape artist. He just nods when people say, "You're awesome," and keeps going. But everyone knows now. They know he's special. They know he's brave. And the bikers? They're gone for good, tails between their legs like scared dogs. Jake didn't need to fight them off. He didn't need to shout. He just showed them and everyone else what he could do. And that was enough. So, there's your happy ending for this part. Jake's on top, the bullies are out, and the town loves him. Justice is served, nice and simple. No punches, no mess, just a guy with a hat and some serious skills. The crowd got their hero, and Jake got his respect. Pretty cool, right? Stick with me, because we've got one more part to go. This story's got a big finish coming up. Hey, everyone. Here's something to think about. Sometimes the person you think isn't strong is actually the toughest of all. Jake showed us that. He didn't yell or hit anyone to prove it. He just stayed quiet, waited for the perfect time, and used his amazing skills to win. Pretty cool, huh? It makes you wonder who around you might be hiding something awesome. Maybe someone super special is right there, and you don't even know it yet. Thanks for staying with me to the end. If you like this story, say wow in the comments and tell me what you'd do if you were Jake. Catch you next time, keep being curious.